At this point, we do have the logic for toggling the following, which means we can follow and unfollow users, but that is not supporting right now asynchronous operations. So what we have to do, which is planned from the previous episode, is to introduce the coroutines so that we can make these operations asynchronous, and then work on the UI to probably handle all these things when we can follow and unfollow friends, because right now in the UI we have no wiring whatsoever. So that's gonna be the agenda for this video. Stay tuned and let's see how that's gonna go. So I'll switch here in the code. We have the friends introduce coroutines, we have the handle error states, and then update the UI. First, I would introduce the coroutines, and then I would start working on the UI right away, but we will handle the errors last. So let's see first how the updating the UI will go. So to start this, I would open the user catalog interface. And this function, basically toggle following, has to be suspended. Now it would be great if I have that that refactoring available from Android Studio itself. However, it's not, so I have to do this manually, and the way I usually do that is just add the suspend modifier here, or the keyword suspend, and then I'll just run the tests and then follow the compiler. It will tell me where I have to update the things. Now it would take a little time, I guess, because it's the first time I'm running the code today. So let's see. Now we have the first failure. So here we are in the repository. Let's make this call also suspend. So I'm basically working backwards towards my view model, and the view model I'm gonna switch the thread. So here I have toggle following. This is my implementation in memory, so I have to make this suspend as well, so it will work. Then run again, and here we are in the view model. Now in our view model, for now, to make this work, I'm just gonna do a view model scope launch and then wrap this in there. However, I want to do this operation into a into the background. So I'll use dispatcher as background, and then probably inline this and run. Now probably some test doubles still need to be updated, so now the tests, the compiler will narrow me down to the tests. Indeed, this is what I was expecting. That's the offline. We have unavailable as well, and I think 2 more test doubles. I think we can eliminate this one with the controllable one, because user catalog creating user with. Okay, I think, but that's something for later. And this one should be also suspend. Now it should all work, I guess. And it does. So let's see what we got in the toggle following. Nice. I think now it's good time to make a commit. So what we have is made this suspend. And I'll just say make the, or put the following toggling functionality under coroutines. And now I would like to start writing some UI tests to see this functionality. Basically, in the UI, I have a list of friends and I have this follow button, but right now that button doesn't do anything. So I would start with a test to actually, when I click the button, I would expect that to change to following, for example, because I'm toggling the followship. And that's sort of something that I can start with. Friends, screen, let me see. Friend screen test. So here I would say follow a friend. I would, well, let me start first with a test. Launch friends. And then I need the rule here. And then I would say tap on follow for. I think here I have friend Anna. I do have some friends here. Yeah, friend Anna. It should be with one N. And then I would verify that following is added for friend Anna. And now also I will need to replace the user catalog with in memory user catalog. And here I will need the users. So I do have some users, and the users are Anna and Bob, and then I will hit the following for Anna. I would expect that the following is added. Let me see. I'm experiencing some slow studio behavior. I've updated to Bumblebee. I don't know why it is kind of slow. So let's yes, it is not for some reason allowing me to, the autocomplete is not working. So let me see if I can do this manually. Okay, friends robot. Okay, so here I'll need a function. Tap on follow for, I think that was the name. Yeah, friend. Now I want to find the button for particular friend. So basically I will play here with a content description because I need that anyway for accessibility. So what I'm gonna be doing is, for the buttons, I will assign content description that's gonna say like follow this and this user if I haven't followed them, but if they are not followee, if they are, it would be, let's say, unfollow. So I'll exercise both scenarios. So here I would say rule on node with content description, something like follow. So first I'll say follow friend is gonna be rule activity get string r string follow friend, and then probably the friend user ID. So it will format right away, and then I would say rule on node with content description follow friend perform click. Nice. I don't understand why the autocomplete is not working. So let me maybe try to restart the studio, because this is not a really pleasant experience. So I'll just close this. And now I'll run it again. Let's hope it's gonna work now. Let me open the presentation mode. I'll just wait for it to compile and everything. Yes, now it works. So create string value resource, of course. So I would say follow percent $1 $S. Okay. Yeah, I think that was the notion of like when you want to add string formatting or something. Okay, so tap on follow, and then we need a function for verifying that the follow has happened. So what I'm thinking right now is to have a here verify that the button content description has changed and the text has changed. So the text should be from follow unfollow, and its content description should change too. So I'll expect something like rule on node, and then with, or was it text? Yeah, has text. Unfollow and has content description, something like, let's say, unfollow friend user ID assert is displayed. Yeah. Now let's define unfollow. Unfollow is gonna be a rule activity get string or string unfollow. Of course, create that. I think I haven't had created it so far. So I have follow, unfollow. Good. And then I would say here, let's also create a resource for this one. So here I have created follow friend. Here I would say unfollow friend would be rule activity get string or string unfollow friend, and then take this. So unfollow friend would be unfollow percent $1 and then here I would just replace that one with unfollow friend. I'm running out the micro tests, I think. Okay, anyway, I needed to compile. Let's see. But yeah, I think that's sort of the assertion that I wanna have. So I'm just gonna be looking for a node that has text unfollow and content description unfollow this particular friend ID. I mean, I'm just gonna play with the IDs, and that would be an indication that I have that the button has changed. And then I think I can go ahead and change the UI now. Okay, those tests ran. Now I'll just run these tests. This is just the friend screen. I'm not gonna run all the tests because they're gonna be too many, and then it would be way too slow. So let's see here. I should have just a bunch of tests. Of course, I don't have running emulator, but it should run pretty fast, I think. We are not gonna wait too long. And it should start anytime now. So my idea is also to reproduce a situation or reproduce a behavior where when I click on the button I have to wait a little bit, and while this waiting happens I want to show a little spinner on the button. That's also something that would be nice. Okay, tests didn't run. Let me try again. Because I think the studio just... Yeah, now it should work. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a nice behavior to probably show that little indicator while we are following or unfollowing somebody. And it should be fairly easy to do that. Now this test is failing as expected because probably it wouldn't be able to find content description follow Anna ID, of course. Now what I have to do is I'll go to the friends screen. Let me open it this way. Friends screen. If you scroll down all the way, this is our friend item. This is the row item, and basically here we have the outline button. This is the thing that we are gonna be trying to work with, that we are trying to click. Now this one should have a modifier, semantics content description. Now this one should be something like follow and that the ID of the friend. String resource. ID would be r string follow friend, and then the format arcs is gonna be friend user ID. What's wrong with this? Okay, I need to pull this out, so I have to say something like let me try to figure this out. So I think I have to do this, extract this to a variable, and then say that this is gonna be my follow friend, and then instead of string resource ID. What's wrong with this? Okay. Okay, let me try then to pull it out like this. Yeah, now it works. Okay, cool. Follow friend, content, description. I'll name this. And now if I run, it should say it clicked, but then the unfollow is not being found because right now I don't have that logic. Let's verify that. That's my expectation. And it failed. And indeed, it says it cannot find the unfollow and then the thing that I'm expecting. Okay, so what I have to do is say here, this is the follow content description, and then unfollow content description is gonna be string resource. Let's rename this to also follow content description, and unfollow would be string resource, and then r string unfollow friend user ID. And then here I would say semantics, if friend is followee, then unfollow, else, well, the content description is gonna be if friend is followee, if followee, unfollow, else follow. But now on click we have to toggle that following. We have to signal back to the view model that actually we have clicked on something and then add that following. So yeah, right now I'm running the test, but they are gonna fail for the exactly same reason. Now let's work on making that work. So just to verify, once again, one node, but couldn't find any node that satisfies unfollow. So also the button text here should be, we should also extract this into something like if friend is followee. Well, let's say this resource, if friend is followee, then it's gonna be r string unfollow, else r string follow, and then here the text gonna be string resource, ID would be resource. And now on click we should say toggle following for friend user ID. So we are gonna toggle the following for the ID of the user. Now this is function that we have to take here. One thing to notice here is the modifier is coming second. I think it's a good, always good approach to put it on the first. I think that's by the convention of the Jetpack Compose. So I would change the signature of this one and then move this one down. Do this refactoring first. Then say here on, how did I name this? Yeah, toggle following for. Toggle following for, so that's gonna take string, it's gonna produce unit, That's my lambda, and I'm just calling it here. And now let's see. So here we have friend item. Friend is friend, but then I should say toggle following for equals. It's gonna be lambda toggle following for it. So again, here, this is another composable, which is friends list, and similar like on refresh, we also have to introduce here toggle following for lambda. Then we go level up, which is friend screen content. Again, the same thing. So here we should say toggle following for equals toggle following for it, and do the same here, toggle following for, and finally in the root call the view model. So first I would like to move lambda argument into parentheses. I think that's what I want, but this is not toggle following, it's on refresh. So on refresh, put arguments in separate lines, so that's better. Now we have on refresh, we call the view model load friends for that user, but also on or toggle following for is gonna be my friends view model toggle following user ID, and then it is what comes from down here, which is the friend ID, and the first argument is the user ID which loaded this screen. Now if I run the test, it should work, except if I miss something somewhere, but I dubbed. So let's see. And as we can see, the test is passing, which is great. And now we can move on. We can first check this in. The UI is updated for, well, we can verify the following behavior in the UI. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we like can we unfollow. I think the unfollowing is also important, and it's slightly different, but I think I want to make sure that I'm having this properly set. Now I wrote some logic already with these ifs elses in the UI, in the screen, so I'll just make sure that they are not gonna break over time. Unfollow a friend. So I'll do again, replace the user catalog with in-memory user catalog, having my users. Then I'll say launch the friends using the rule. Tap on follow for friend Bob. So it is gonna be following now because I have a test that verifies that. That's, I think, easier, because otherwise I'll have to, for example, supply here list of users where one of my users is gonna be followee and then I will unfollow. But I think it's easier if I just tap on follow and then tap on unfollow for friend Bob, and then verify that following is removed for friend Bob. Or maybe, I'm thinking right now, maybe the intention is gonna be cleaner if I just do what I just said. So let me see. What if I do val users equals mutable map of these two mutable list of let's say Lucy. Then create local variable Lucy, which is gonna be user. And it's gonna be Lucy ID, Lucy at friends.com, about Lucy. But instead of friend Bob, I'll say well friend Lucy is gonna be a friend with where Lucy is gonna be the user, and is follow equals true. Now we do follow Lucy. Now we tap on unfollow for friend Lucy, and then this is, yeah, this is kind of better. I think the intention is cleaner of the test. So now let's create this member function here. We have friend. I'll move it. I want to the infix function to be last. Tap on follow for. I think I'll just copy this down here and then say, well, unfollow friend is the unfollow friend. Unloaded content description, unfollow, perform, click, nice. And then following is removed for, again, friend. And I'll also copy this, but instead it should be follow, get the follow, and then follow friend should be follow friend, and then on note with text follow and has content description follow, assert is displayed. Nice. Let's run the tests. It should run because I think I have already added the logic, but this test just makes sure that the toggling is working fine in terms of adding the correct content description and everything on the button, and over time it's not gonna break. So we have something against the regression in the UI. Okay, the test is failing. Let's see why. So it says could not find any node that satisfies content description equals unfollow Lucy. Okay, now seems like we have a mistake in the UI here. We say content description is if friend is followee, unfollow, else follow, which is, seems to me, correct. Let's see what we have. So here we have the toggling, but that's working. And here what we say is replace within memory user catalog for these users. And then is followee equals true. And when is followee is true, then we should be able to tap on unfollow. Let me run again and see what's the failure. Unfollow, content description unfollow. So I think it is not recognizing this user as yeah, for some reason this maybe because of the way we are launching the rule, then this is not being recognized as let me try this quickly. So instead here I'll say users and then friend Bob. But first I'll say tap on follow for friend Bob, so then it becomes followy, and then I'll unfollow. I think it has to do with the way that I'm launching this screen. Yeah, that's the case. So it toggles twice. Let me see. But this is not very different from. I have friends, false, false by default, and now here I have true. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's okay if I just keep it this way as well. Let me check this in so that we are not gonna waste too much time. So what we have is can verify the unfollowing behavior in the UI. Nice. So next I would like to, as I said, make sure that I'm showing some sort of spinner while this toggling is being is ongoing. So something like fun. Then this should be unfollow a friend. Display. I think the naming convention here, oh, it shows loading indicator for the toggling friend. Or maybe when toggling friendship. Yeah. So launch the friends, then tap on follow for friend Anna, and then verify that loading indicator for loading indicator is shown for friend Anna. Create function. Loading indicator is shown for friend. So I would expect something like a rule on node with content description, because it's spinner, so it should have only content description. Something like let's say So I'm now thinking whether I should have following and then unfollowing. So two types of content description, like while following, I should say following this user, or unfollowing this user, or some generic term like toggling. But yeah, toggling is not. I don't know. Maybe let's do following. I think the purpose is to show this thing. It doesn't matter which approach I'm taking. You can just decide yourself how do you want to do it. Following, let's say the friend user ID. Assert is displayed, something like that. Now following, do I have string resource for that? Was it follow friend is follow? It should be following because it's the operation. So then let's do this. Following friend is going to be following friend rule activity get string or string following friend user ID. Then this is gonna be following friend, add the string following $1 but then this function, that's something that I was thinking while writing it, loading indicator is shown when following this friend. Then for unfollowing I'll have another additional test or something. Shows loading indicator when adding friendship. Now for the setup I need to leverage the test double that I have previously created, the controllable one. I think I can leverage that one, and let's see, replace user catalog with controllable, because I need some delay, like when I'm toggling the following I need some delay, like 1 second or something, so then I'll be able to show that spinner, but the test is not gonna take the entire time that I'm delaying. It will just make sure that it's shown. Once it realizes it's shown, it will just say okay, success. So controllable user catalog, and I need a function for, because I need to have some friends initially. I need a function for friends load. So friends load equals friends load, and I need a toggle follow equals toggle follow. Now let's create this function first. Create local variable friends load. Friends load is gonna be a suspend function that takes string no, what's this one? So it takes friends load nothing into list friend, and it's gonna be a list of users, or well, just users, no, list of is it friend? Yeah, friend Anna and friend Bob. So that's a function that will return the users. but I also need the friends. I need a function for toggling the follow. I think if I just go now here, I don't have it defined. So let's define such function. Maybe here, private val. How did I name this? Follow toggle, which is gonna suspend. It will take the two IDs, and it will return toggle following, and it's going to be by default it will return toggle following. Let's put it in a new line. Following, I'll need these strings, so these are user ID and following ID. These are the two arguments of the lambda, and then I'll supply here the user ID and the following ID, and I'll say something like true. Doesn't matter. At this point this doesn't matter. And then here I would say return and then call the function follow toggle, and then pass the user ID and the followee ID. This should be enough. And now here I have to say toggle follow. I didn't name toggle follow. Follow toggle is going to be a suspending function that will take string and will return toggle following. It's too bad that the type inference is not working here, so I have to define the types like manually here and specify. So here I would say delay for 1 second and then return toggle following, and here I need the same user ID and following ID, and here I would say user ID, following ID. Yeah, true, doesn't matter. Let me keep this for a while. Now if I run, this should fail. It would say that it could not find this the content description. Yeah, this one should fail, but it did not. No, this one awesome. Shows loading indicator. That's for the entire list, but shows loading indicator when adding friendship. This one failed, and it says indeed that it cannot following that the content description it is looking for. Let's go back to our UI. Friends screen here, and let's see. So basically what we want to do here is we have to create a mechanism that will help us understand, are we in a process of adding followship or removing followship or not. If we are, so some sort of boolean flag, then we can say if we are not into that process, then show this regular text. Otherwise, show the loading indicator. So something like if, let's say, is toggling friendship else do the old thing. So if is toggling friendship, that's gonna come in the function. What we are gonna do is circular progress indicator, and then here I would say modifier is semantics, content description is going to be I will yeah, now I have I decided to go the path with 2 strings, but let's maybe simplify that. Loading indicator is shown when following instead when loading indicator is shown when toggling follow ship not fellowship but friendship or and then friend. Now instead of following friend here, updating friendship is gonna be r string following friend. This should be instead updating follow friendship. Updating friendship refactor. And then I'll say updating friendship or something like that. It's gonna be my content description. Then I don't need 2 tests, I need 1 test. So if I go in the tests, shows loading indicator when updating friendship, loading indicator is shown when toggling friendship for. Yes, that's great. Is toggling friendship. Then here I can easily define the content description. So updating content description is gonna be my string resource, where ID is gonna be r string updating friendship friend user ID. Yes, this description, and I'll take this, and then here I would say semantics is this, but also I'll need to style it a bit. I think the size or so, yeah, stroke width is gonna be 2 dps, and also I think as a modifier I would add size, which should be some 16 dp, I think. Now what is this is toggling friendship? That's gonna come in here. It's gonna be boolean, and from here I would say for each friend item is coming here. I would say friend, and here is toggling would be is gonna be friend user ID in updating items. Updating yeah, updating updating items. Yeah. I don't know whether I want to name it updating items, but I wanna have a list of items of friends that are currently updating, currently toggling the friendship. So let's say currently updating items. Yeah, or maybe friends. Yeah, okay, currently updating friends. That's gonna be here also value, but it's gonna be just a list of string. So I'll just pass the values that are the IDs that are currently just the IDs of the user that are currently being updated. And that's gonna be also in my here. Currently updating friends, gonna be screen state currently updating friends. This is not something that I have already, so let's create a member, not a member. I need here the same as this one, but it should be currently updating friends and list of string instead. Nice. And now in my view model, I have to here, when I toggle the following, I have to update the state to add in this list the user that is currently being updated, and once the followship is done, I have to remove it. So it should be something trivial. So before everything, before I call this, I have to say something like update now updating items would be a bit silly name. Let's write what I want to have here, and then we can wrap it into a function. So current state would be my saved state handle of screen state key, or default to friend screen state. Then I would say updated list would be current state, currently updating friends, plus list of my followee ID, and then save state handle screen state key would be current state copy currently updating friends, gonna be updated list. And then this one would be a function that I'll name update list of toggling friendships. And then here, once it is updated, what I have to do is updated friends also updated toggles, I don't know, would be current state, currently updating friends, minus list of follow it ID. So it's gonna remove it, and then updated state's gonna be friends. Currently updating is updated toggles. Let's maybe name this one. Yeah, I think it's okay. Let's keep it this way. Okay, now if I run the test, it should work. And I think now I'm gonna also run manually the app and see if that loading spinner is looking at least okay or something. Yeah, the tests are working fine, but what I want to do is to make sure that I can see it, I'll go, well, let's first check this in. What I have is can display a loading indicator for currently updating you friend. Let me go in the user catalog. Oops. The in-memory one, and then the toggle following I'll just delay for a second and run the app. And then here I would say test. And then also add one more. And then from here, that's what I want. I'm having follow, then boom, then unfollow. The thing is that this button is clickable multiple times when while the spinner is going on. I think an easy fix, I think I can add a test to make sure that it's being disabled or something while this happens. But I think you saw how the process goes. It's rather simple, but I'm just gonna skip adding a test for that, and I will just say in the friends. So yeah, if well, I can just add an assertion in the yeah here. So we can say outline button is or enabled. How was it enabled? Is not is toggling friendship. So yeah, that's fine. Let me remove the artificial delay that I've added in the in-memory one. So this is the one. Um, disable the button while while updating in progress. So it's gonna be sort of, you know, not that much jumpy. But even if this is enabled, is not there, we are not breaking functionality. It's still gonna work fine. It's just not looking nice. So I think not adding a test for that for now is okay, because I think we saw how everything goes. It shouldn't be a big deal. So you can do that yourself if you want, as a little exercise. But I'm really running out of time now. I have 1 hour 6 minutes. I wanted to also cover the functionality for the errors, so let's maybe do that quickly and then we can wrap this up, because then I think everything will be ready. We are updating the UI, introduce coroutines, and yeah, maybe include information for each follower. Yeah, that's I don't know now. Maybe handle error states and include information for each follower. Maybe I can add it into a separate episode and then wrap this one up now. That sounds like a good idea, I think. Then we have one more episode and then we are gonna wrap up the entire initial series of this. So then we can move to the backend, and once we have the backend sort of ready, we can come back to this one and write an implementation of the catalogs that are sort of going to reach out to the backend rather than talking to an in-memory ones. Okay, so handle error states and include information for its follower. That's going to be coming in the next episode. I think we're going to be wrapping up this one now. Thank you so much for the time and attention. I'll make sure to catch you in the next episode. Cheers.